2. First theories till spontaneous generation. José Miguel González and Carmen Brejano. Index. Theory of special creation. Theory of spontaneous generation. Theory of castastrophism. Theory of panspermia. Theory of chemical evolution. Abiogenesis. A brief story. Conclusion. Theory of evolution. Theory of special creation. What is the theory of special creation? This idea is found in the ancient scriptures of almost every religion. According to Hindu mythology, Lord Brahma, the god of creation, created the living world in accordance to his wish. Christian belief thought God created this universe, plants, animals and human beings in about 6 natural days. The Sikh myth says that all forms of life, human, came of single word God. Theory of spontaneous generation. One of the firm believers in spontaneous generation was Aristotle, was a philosopher. He believed that dead leaves falling from a tree into a pond would transform into fishes, and those falling on soil would transform into worms and insects. Egyptians believed that mud of the Nile River could spontaneously give rise to many forms of life. The idea of spontaneous generation was popular almost till 17th century. Theory of castastrophism. It states that there have been several creations of life by God, each preceded by a catastrophe resulting from some kind of geological disturbance. Since each catastrophe completely destroyed the existing life, each new creation consisted of life form different from that of previous ones. Redi's experiment. Francesco Redi was the first scientist who posted against spontaneous generation in 1668. He made that experiment to prove if maggots really born from spontaneous generation or they came by flies' eggs. To test his hypothesis, he put a piece of meat in some jars, some of them opened, another completely closed and some others covered with a piece of gauze. As he had expected, maggots appeared only in the open flasks in which the flies could reach the meat and lay their eggs. Cosmozoic theory. This idea was proposed by Richter in 1865 and supported by Arrhenius 1908 and other contemporary scientists. The theory did not gain any support. This theory lacks evidence, hence it was discarded. Chemical evolution. This theory is also known as materialistic theory or physical-chemical theory. According to this theory, origin of life on Earth is the result of a slow and gradual process of chemical evolution. This theory was proposed independently by 2 scientists. According to this theory, spontaneous generation of life under the present environmental conditions is not possible. Earth's surface and atmosphere during the first billion years of existence were radically different from that of today's conditions. The primitive Earth's atmosphere was a reducing type of atmosphere and not oxidizing type. The first life arose from a collection of chemical substances through a progressive series of chemical reactions. Solar radiation, heat radiated by Earth, and lighting must have been the chief energy source for these chemical reactions. Abiogenesis. In 1924, Russian biochemist Alexander Oparin proposed that living cells arose gradually from non-living matter through a sequence of chemical reactions. In their experiment, water boiled into vapor at the bottom of a flask and then passed through an apparatus, combining with ammonia, methane, and hydrogen. They then subjected the resulting mixture to a 50,000-volt spark before cooling and collecting it in a trap at the bottom of the apparatus. Abiogenesis conclusion. The doctrine of spontaneous generation holds that organic life could and does arise from inorganic matter. As late as the 17th century, there were recipes to create life. Take sweaty rags, wrap them around a wheat, and set them in an open jar. In 1668, Francesco Redi publicly opposed the idea of spontaneous generation. While it was generally accepted that rotting meat generated maggots, Redi disagreed. To test his hypothesis, Redi performed one of the first known experiments to utilize a control group. Thus began both the death of Sponaneous. Evolutionary theory. They have been quite successful in blatantly ignoring this issue. Besides spontaneous generation, evolutionists continue to avoid several other problems with their theory. Here are just two significant examples. 1. Cosmic evolution, known as the Big Bang theory, does not explain the uneven distribution of original matter that results in voids and clumps. 2. Macroevolution has been refuted by the lack of transitional fossils in the fossil record, and the harmful trend of genetic mutation.